Welcome back to another episode of the Mystery Garage. In today's episode, we're finally getting back to the groove of things. Today is a Sunday episode, and on Sunday episodes, we do things on the lighter side. Next Wednesday, we're going to be back on Stepchild and going at it hard full time. So in today's episode, since it is on the lighter side of things, it is a fantastically sunny day outside again. So it's time to take the Cabrio outside and wash it for the first time in 10 years. Let's do it. So again, welcome back to another lighter episode of Mystery Garage for Sunday's episodes. Now, I think what we're going to do today is take this car out and give it a really good wash. As I talked about in my last episode where we worked on this car, or at least talked about this car, I talked about how I want to restore this back to as good as I can possibly get it. And that'll start today with an exterior wash. We're going to do a pretty good exterior detail on it and hopefully revive it back to, or at least look at what we're working with on this car. Before we do that, I did mention that the tire has a slow leak in it, so we do have to fill the back tire up with air. We'll roll it out of the garage and give it a good wash. Let's get to work. Wow, what a difference that made. Now, granted, there's lots of little imperfections in the paint. We can have all that corrected at some point. I'd love to learn how to do that stuff myself. I have zero experience with any kind of paint correction, so I'm hoping maybe, I can use this car to take me on a journey to learn all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of little rock chips on the lower part of the grill, so it'd be nice to touch up that paint, but it's really hard I don't know if the camera can show it, but the paint has a pearl. Obviously it's called midnight blue metallic pearl for a reason, but this paint color I could imagine would be really hard to match with aftermarket spray cans. But nevertheless, it might need a little bit of a professional kind of gun to make something lay down real nice. But nevertheless, I am very happy with how this car turned out. It does need a cut polish and some sort of wax to try and take a lot of the imperfections, and like I said, I'd love to learn how to do that. But just a simple wash. This is just a basic wash, and we'll get to doing a lot more work on it later. But right now I'd like to see if I can't power up the car, lower the windows. You can see the previous owner obviously had a cat, because there is cat hair all over the top of this roof. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get all that off. And you can see that's probably the reason why there's a little bit of cutting and scratching. And then down the back, there's a little bit, you can see there, probably where their nails are landing as they jump down the back of the car, and a little bit of scratching. I can't really show, it doesn't really pick it up on camera, but there's scratching going downwards, which is probably their claws when they're jumping off. But overall, I think this car really could be perfected with a nice, good polish. And like I said, I would love to learn how to do that. All right, I'm gonna try and power up the car for the first time. I'll hook up a battery. We'll see if we can't get some electrical functions to work. I'd love to check the lights and almost check the wiring harness to make sure there's not any leaks or any big issues. Then once we get the windows down, I'll take the roof off, and I'd like to clean out the interior, pull all the seats out, pull the carpet out, vacuum the floor, vacuum the carpet, maybe put the carpet back. We'll see how far we go in this episode, but I'd love to start the process of cleaning this car back up. You can see just how cool that paint looks. And again, that midnight blue metallic really stands out as what looks to be a black car in certain lighting. So I think this is really neat. And it worried me at first when I looked at that, at the receipt from last time. It said the car was black when I was looking through the receipt, which made me look up this VIN number that's on it. But the VIN number matched. That's probably because they looked at it in a similar light like this, and the car does look black, so they would have put it on the service agreement that they're working on a black car. But what a nice job it came out, and obviously a lot more work to do, but let's keep going. All right, I grabbed a battery from my battery pile. Let's have a peek. Oh, we got stereo. That's a good thing. Let's take a look here. Turn the key. Oh, I heard the fuel pump prime. That's a positive thing. What else we got going on here? All right, let's give these windows. See if we can't get this window to go down. Oh, haha. Sorry, I missed that, but they seem to be one touch. Oh, it goes back up. Very nice. That's a very good thing. Now let's try the other one. Oh, look at stepchild just sitting there chilling. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Scared there for a minute. That one's a little bit touchy. Something's a little bit interesting with that one. That one works though. Sweet. All right, let's get the roof down. This car's looking so good. All right, time to start tackling this interior. I'm super pumped that the windows and everything work, because it was always going to be an unknown. Anyway, so let's go ahead and throw it into time lapse. We're going to pull out a lot of this interior, start getting to work cleaning it up. Now I realize a lot of you guys probably think this is overkill for, you know, doing it clean, but you know, two things. One, we are restoring this car, so we want to make sure it's immaculate. And two, I generally do this when I get a car anyways. If I'm going to be driving it, using it, you know, I want to know it through and through. Sometimes lifting the carpet, you might find some secrets. You know, even if it's just cleaning up a mess like we are here, it's good to know what's underneath the carpet. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see that under this carpet, there's just all kinds of junk. And, you know, sometimes you might find some rust, you know, up along the rockers there. Inside, you might find something on the floor. Like I said, this car is pretty much rust free, so there's actually none of that. But there is a lot of junk, you know, pen cap lids and, you know, just kind of stuff that's fallen underneath the carpet or figured its way down the carpet. You usually find some money and some other kind of junk. But again, just cleaning all that kind of schmutz like that, all that stuff, all under the carpet. When you do a thorough cleaning like this, it just feels good. It feels good to have a nice clean car. So we're gonna go ahead and address all that. I'll also show you underneath the steering column here. Let me see if I can show you. Give me just a second. Right there, you can see all that old alarm wiring. So I'm gonna have to be cutting all that stuff out. I don't want anything that didn't come exactly from the factory. Also, you saw in the video, this is one of those airbag boxes, modules for this car. So that was a bit of a hectic thing to work around, just because you got to kind of undo it and then carpet's wrapped around it because of the wiring, that sort of thing. But nevertheless, we got it all sorted out. We'll continue on and get the rest of this all figured out. One more thing I want to show you is here on this sound deadening material, you can see I already pulled out the other side. And the reason why I do that is sometimes underneath this foam carries a bit of moisture. You can see that. Now there's no rust in the floor at all, but let me show you how I pull this out. Right where it joins right here, there's a little bit of glue. You can kind of just pull it off. I've already actually pulled it off on this side, but I realized I probably should show you guys. I go ahead and take this out. I flip it over in the sun and I let it really air dry, and I let the floor air dry as well. This was probably from, you know, me washing it, or even before me when the guy had it. It was outside for a couple days before I came to pick it up. So it could have just been leaking from parts of the roof or down the door seams or whatever, because this door, again, doesn't fully close. So just to make sure everything is fully dry, after I vacuum it up, I'll let it sit for a day or two before we get back to it. I'm actually gonna leave the carpet out for now until I can do a full interior dress. You can see it's all sitting on top of Stepchild here. I wanna be able to address all that interior stuff, as well as I want to make sure that the fuel pump issues and everything work, but we're going to wait till the Will It Start episode for that one. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to fully vacuum, fully clean the floor, let everything sit and dry, and then we're going to have the episode on the Will It Start. As soon as I get my parts, I'm just waiting on the airbox and that MAF, and then hopefully we can get this thing fired up. And if that's the case, everything's ready to go. I will then put all the interior back piece by piece, making sure it's mint when it goes back in. And like I was saying, you can see just how much easier it is to clean the carpet when it's all out of the car. We can just do a phenomenal job this way, make sure everything's cleaned up. We can also go over each individual part in the interior and clean them all up. Obviously I like to get a shampoo going on the seats, front and back. We'll go through each of the little pieces, clean every piece up. As we go to put it back together, we'll put it back together as if it's a restoration, making sure that each individual piece has no broken clips, no issues, nothing like that. You can also see there's those sound deadening materials flipped upside down, air drying for now. I'll probably leave them like that for a few days, and they'll really be dry to the bone. And then when we go ahead and put them back, we'll be in good shape. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead, pull out the shop vac. We're gonna get to cleaning this entire interior right up. and just like that. Mind you, we still do need to do a full shampoo of this carpet, as well as obviously the seats like I talked about earlier. But that about wraps it up for today's episode. Now we're just waiting on some engine parts to come in, and then we can hopefully do the will it start video once it runs and we're happy with it. Then we can probably get to work on shampooing the interior, getting the interior back in the car, and hopefully have the car hit the road. At that point in time, we can dial up all the little things, but pay attention to the paint, the details, and potentially get ready for some 180 swap down the road. So thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, guys, take care.